Video number 2, exercise. This is Philip Crone, and you are on my Success, Hope, and Encouragement channel. Are you a recent college grad? Then this is for you. You probably paid 100 to 200 grand for college. Now you're stuck in the basement playing Xbox all night in your underwear and sleeping all day long. You're just not getting where you want to go. Or are you one of those people maybe in a midlife crisis? You're stuck in your career? This could be for you as well. Let me share with you a couple building blocks that I've used in my life when I understand and talk about success and the wisdom that we can learn. And there's two principles that are going to tie into this exercise video. One is called habits. And habits are good and habits are bad, and how do we make habits and how do we get rid of habits? That's the billion-dollar question in this world. But I like to kind of give the visual image of your habits in your life and my habits in my life are a bit like a big giant recipe of soup, if you will. We all have a recipe of, I'm sharing with you how I live my life, and this is my soup recipe formula, and it may taste a certain way, and I may have gotten to a certain place from doing these habits, and you, of course, have a formula or a recipe right now. It may be good, it may be bad, it may be the right one, it may be the wrong one. I'm not here to judge that. I'm here to let you think about it and share with you what's in my soup formula so that you might be able to apply it in your own life. The other principle that I like to throw into my exercise videos are something that I learned from Tony Robbins probably 30 years ago that helped me explain almost everything in life of why we do things as humans. And it's called the pain-pleasure principle. Psychologically, we all are wired to either avoid pain or seek pleasure in almost everything that we do in life. And particularly when I talk about exercise, or if you talk about eating or going to the bathroom or brushing your teeth, whatever the habit is that you have, you're either avoiding pain or seeking pleasure. It's why we do what we do. But I may throw a few of you off here. I'm not going to be talking about the physical benefits of exercise, even though we do know there's many. I kind of call this a side effect of why I started running. But I really want to focus on and emphasize, I believe, building the habit of exercise is 99% mental, particularly when it becomes to the success formula or the soup and our path of reaching a certain destination for success. So I also, at this point, I want to throw in a little legal disclaimer. If you are not in a position where you need to be exercising, don't. There's other ways that we can become successful, other habits that we can create. But if you are, I hate to use these words, a little lazy, you think you need to exercise, and you think you might believe in what I'm saying, then take this all with a grain of salt. But as I shared yesterday in our introduction video, I started running about 37 years ago and fell into it for a lot of different reasons, but something very early on gave me something that I wasn't expecting, and that was an increased level of confidence. And for those of you sitting in your basement, maybe you're a little scared, or you're in your career, you're a little scared, maybe you're lacking self-confidence. I was insecure growing up as a kid, and I was like a deer in the headlights when it became being in front of a crowd. So it really held me back a lot during my earlier years. And my freshman year in college, when I started getting into running and my confidence started growing, it really ignited my rocket on my destination of success. So I'm going to share with you some of the thoughts that I have and how you can implement them into your life, and hopefully get out of that basement and get a job and follow me on this path of success. So I like to view, particularly for me, running, and as I said, 37 years now, I think I've started my third lap around planet Earth, truly a little bit over a long period of time. But not only does it give me success, but or confidence, I realize that it gets me motivated. So ironically, I run to get motivated. I don't have to get motivated to run, and I'm explaining about that in just a minute. I also learned after all these years of running, and it's now down to 5 days a week. It was 7 days a week for many, many years, but I run 3 miles a day, Monday through Thursday, and on Fridays I run 5 or 6 miles. But I'm also proud to say, in all this 37 years of running, I've never stopped. I've never quit. I've missed a day here and there. I've missed a week here and there from vacations or what have you. But I have never fallen off the wagon with running. That's how strongly I feel about this, and I'm practicing what I preach. And I hope that's one thing that you all will take from these videos, is I'm sharing with you what I do and still do on a daily basis. So I want to get a little kind of a mindset that this isn't about how quickly we can get things. This is about changing our minds. This is about you believing in what some of the things I'm going to tell you, that if you will go out there and do something aerobically, I don't care what it is, for at some point in time, 30 minutes, 5 days a week, it will start changing your mind. It will start changing the way you think. Ideas will start flowing. And it's basically a mind-altering drug, if you will. It's a pill that you can take that I can guarantee you will lead you towards what I feel is success, and of course healthy success. It's a legal drug. So this isn't how many minutes we do it. I'd like you all to think this is how many years we're going to do it. So with that, I'm going to share with you a couple little secrets, I guess. And this is something that I've used with a lot of people over the years, as I've talked a lot about exercise, and it's one of the building blocks of success, of about 20 that I'm going to talk about over the next few months. And if you've never done this before, the biggest mistake that everybody can make is we want something for nothing. We want it today. We want to win the lottery. And remember, the title of my book is a little bit over a long period of time. So going out and running for 95 miles your first week is not going to make you successful. It's going to get you injured. And remember, I talked about avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. Well, your body's going to avoid the pain, and you're going to quit running, and then you're going to start eating ice cream the rest of your life. So I have instituted with many people that I work with, and this is a challenge from me to you. I call it the 10-minute challenge. And there's a lot of different people out there looking and watching, and at different stages of your life. But for those of you, let's call it the healthy college grad, you're 22, 23 years old, you're probably not as bad shape as most people would say. But this, I cannot say this any louder than I want to say right now. If you do too much, you will have too much pain, and you will not make it, and you will not be successful. So the 10-minute challenge is, if you will give me 10 minutes of exercise for 30 days in a row, you're going to do something that is almost like magic. The psychologists have proven that if you can do any action repetitively for 30 days, it's the easiest way to trick your mind into building a habit. So one of the things that I want to preach is not only to build the habit, but we can't have too much pain. This is about years we need to institute here. So when I talk about the 10-minute challenge, you're doing a disservice to what I'm trying to preach if you go out and start running for 40 or 50 minutes. You might be able to do a little bit more than 10, but my whole point is we want to trick the mind to build the habit. Now, one of the things that I did early on, this goes back, and I'm 55 and change right now, when I was 18 years old, I had a diary, and the diary was a very powerful tool for me to put down my running times and how I was feeling. And then it migrated real quickly as I got a year or two into running of what I call a calendar. And for you kids don't know what paper calendars are, but a calendar that I would put up on the wall for all to see, and I would put the amount of minutes that I ran. And if I didn't run for a month, and the calendar would show an entire month, I'd put a big X. And that motivated me to keep going and to realize I didn't want to put a big X because it was painful. I wanted the pleasure of seeing how many times I could do this. So those are two little tricks that could change your life if you haven't built the habit of exercise. So how is this going to get you out of your basement? I think that's a question we're all pondering. Well, it's one of the tools that's going to get you out of the basement. And, part of life is having faith in people. And I'm here as a testimony to tell you that running changed my life. Aerobic exercise changed my life. It turned me into something that I wasn't. It switched some switches on in my brain. And I think it's a pill that's out there for anybody who wants to make a change in your life. So it gets back to those habits. It gets back to putting some positive habits in your life that will start what I call the amoeba theory, which will create other positive habits in your life, which means eating and all these other elements of success that we'll get into in other videos. So the 10-minute challenge is really the trick that I want to leave you with. And I also want to finish on one other little thought. And I put in my book what I call as a term drafting. And we all have habits in our life right now. A habit for me is running. So whatever habit that you have in your life, if you can find a positive habit to attach to that habit, it's a very tricky and a secret way to develop a new habit. For example, one of the most popular things in my book in the 12 years that I've had it out here in the Atlanta area is I've gotten people, men all over town, to do push-ups in their bathroom. Well, why? Well, most of us take a shower every single day. And I learned, this goes back to college when actually I did pull-ups back then, but now when I turn on the shower, it takes, 30, 45 seconds for the hot water to come up, and it's a little bit of dead time. Well, this is probably 30 years of doing this. I can't get in that shower until I do push-ups. I started out doing my birthday, how old I was, and I think I went up to 50, and once I hit 50, I kind of held it at 50 to tell you the truth. But my point I'm trying to say is I do 50 push-ups 7 days a week for 30-something years now, and that's a lot of push-ups, a little bit over a long period of time, but they happen naturally. I take a shower every day, and I can't get in that shower until I hit the floor and I do those push-ups. So that's one little trick. If you can think about things that you do in life, and it may not be taking a shower, but if you can analyze the habits that you have and put things into those habits that it's done automatically, that's a very, I think, secret way to do it. I do that when I come back from my run. I automatically take my vitamin C, I take my apple vinegar cider. All of this happens, and I realize if I miss my run for that day, a lot of these other habits don't happen. So that's why I say that it's the amoeba theory. If you can create positive habits in your life, it can make other positive habits grow. So that's it for today. I thank you very much for the response I've gotten so far. Please subscribe to my channel. I want to share this with particularly all the millennials out there who need help. Some of my future videos, I'm going to help you find jobs. I'm going to share with you a lot of the things that I did when I was at your age, and I think that's really what we all want. A job is part of being successful. So please subscribe to my YouTube page. Please share this with other people. And if you have any questions or comments, I'll be happy to answer them. So thanks, and have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.